please go ahead and take a seat or lay down if you want. Find a position that's comfortable. Maybe relax your arms and your shoulders, relax your neck a little bit. And then as you are comfortable doing so, or if you're comfortable doing so, once you've found a nice upright position, gently let your eyes close. And again, relax your arms and shoulders. And we'll just begin by taking a long, slow, deep breath in. And then an equally long, slow, deep breath out. And we'll breathe in again to the count of 4 or 5. And breathe out to the count of 4 or 5. Another long, slow, deep breath in to 4 or 5. And exhale to 4 or 5. And another long breath in. And exhale. And now we'll just release the breath and let it become natural. And just focus on the breath. Feel the air going in the nose and then back out of the nose. Try to sense where you feel it the most. You might focus on the rise and fall of your belly. And let it occur naturally. It'll just do it on its own. If your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to your breath. That sensation of the belly rising and falling, or the air going in through the nostrils, back out. And now picture a big empty box. And put one molecule in that big empty box and let it start moving around. It just gently moves, eventually hits the wall, bounces off, hits another wall. It's just moving randomly at some pretty slow speed. And now introduce a second molecule and let it start moving around too. Somewhat at the same speed, doesn't have to be identical. And they're both moving around. They both are bouncing off the walls at different times. And occasionally they're going to bounce off of one another. So let them bounce off of one another. When they collide, they just come together and move back apart. Let's make these molecules blue in our mind. And now let's add a lot more blue molecules. Add a whole collection of blue. Even try to get up to like 100. You don't have to count them, but just put a lot of blue molecules in there, and they're moving around. So you get a lot of collisions, a lot of bouncing off the walls, but they're still, all the molecules are relatively slow. They're all different speeds though. Some of them are slower than others, some of them are a little bit faster. And now imagine one collision where they come together and the two blue molecules react and form a single red molecule. So the blue molecules go away and turn into a red. So now you've got one red molecule floating around with all the other blue molecules. And they're all still just moving around, bouncing off of one another. And then another collision between two blues produces a red. So the blues go away and we have another red. And sometime later, two other molecules get enough energy, have the right orientation, they hit together and they produce a red. So over time, we'd be producing red at some rate. We'd be getting product. Now let's turn up the temperature a little bit. And as we increase the temperature, the molecules move a little faster. So on average, all the molecules pick up some kinetic energy. So they're moving around faster. So picture that. Picture them moving around. And when they collide, they're colliding with a little bit more force. So they have more possibility of overcoming the energy barrier to reaction. So now imagine two blue molecules producing a red. And another two molecules just banged together and produced a red. Because they're moving a little bit faster, they have a little bit more energy, and that energy is being used to overcome the energy barrier. So we're producing red a little faster. The rate of the reaction is increasing as we increase the temperature. But there's still there's still collisions that don't produce reactant products. They collide, but separate again with no reaction. So not every collision produces product, but a fraction do. We're going to increase the temperature one more time, get those molecules really moving. They're really zipping along now, really have a lot of energy. So when two molecules collide, that collision produces a lot of energy. They have more energy to overcome the activation barrier. You produce a red. The two blues go away and you get a red. And now two more blues produce a red. And then two more blues produce a red. Still, a lot of collisions are not producing red, but we do have more collisions that are, so the rate of the reaction is increasing as we increase the temperature, because the fraction of collisions that have enough energy to produce product is increasing at this high temperature, because the molecules are moving around. They have a lot more kinetic energy. So right now you've got a mixture that still has some blue and still has some red in it. Now let's cool the whole thing down suddenly. We're going to go down to really low temperature. So the molecules are back to just kind of moping along. Back to low energy collisions, two molecules just kind of bouncing off one another. Not enough energy to produce red molecules. Can't overcome the energy barrier. Low rate of reaction. So at low temperatures, molecules move slowly. Their collisions aren't energetic enough to overcome the energy barrier, the repulsion between the electrons. So we get low rates of reactant being turned into product. But as the temperature increases, we get a lot more activity, a lot more energy, because the thermal energy is transported to the blue molecules and they can convert into red molecules. And now let's return our focus to our breath. Taking a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling to the count of 4 or 5. And another long, slow, deep breath in to the count of 4 or 5. One more long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling all the air from our lungs. Release the breath to its natural state. And just remain here. Focus on your breath. It's been a long couple of weeks for everybody, so just take some time. Give yourself some time to clear your head. Focus only on the breath coming in and out of your body. It just happens naturally. When you find yourself thinking about other things, just return your attention to the breath. And as you're ready to, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe move your spine back and forth. Relax the shoulders again. Gradually open your eyes. Apologies for the cuckoo clock that decided to tell us all it was 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. But I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have a great weekend. Be working hard. we can get through this, and I look forward to seeing you again at some point in the future. Have a good weekend. Bye.